Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says.
Hi, I'm Keilani Persian Mason, a licensed mental health therapist, and I'm also just a human being. And this reaction is really going to be coming from a place of where it personally hits me. I want to normalize that therapists are humans, and we struggle with our mental health. We have our own ups and downs, but there is a steady path that I consistently find, and that's what I do try to share within this channel, along with some mental health tips and just, an air of vulnerability between myself and my co-host James. You'll see him joining me on some of the reaction videos as well. But today, I hope that you enjoyed this reaction of NF Hope. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and recommend some other music videos that have really been compelling emotionally for you and I might like to react to.
Hope. Yeah, I'm on my way, I'm coming. Don't lose faith in me. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been praying for my soul. Oh, 30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong, nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my album. Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their tail between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit, cause they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding.
This is so good. And I couldn't even figure out a spot to pause because it was but is this another good spot? And this is another good spot. Wow. This is my, again, if I only listened to one NF song, it was introduced to me by James. So this is my second song I'm hearing. And yeah, this is a beautiful song. I can't wait to bring this into my therapy sessions. I've been having a lot of fun actually discovering songs and bringing it in as some music therapy with clients to discuss. So this process is really helping me help others too. But yeah, getting in your own way, being brave enough to do something even if it might be judged, not letting what others might think or letting limitations stop you from identifying and sitting with and taking steps towards what makes your heart sing. What makes you feel alive on this earth? And so this is so fun to hear a song about that inner battle. It's an inner battle that I've felt. I think that when you choose to do something a little bit out of the norm, you're going to feel that. And you have to be walking down that path that is a path of true passion, of true like joy, that this is what you feel inspired to do. Like as a psychedelic assisted therapist, like there's going to be a lot of stigma that I have to break along the way. Or even in doing like this YouTube thing that we're doing here. To be honest, when I said I wanted to start a podcast, I thought it was just going to be audio, not video. So if I have had to kind of like manage a lot of my internal dialogue through that too, and the conclusion that I've come to when it's like, what are you here for? What are you willing to kind of step into the arena for is the message I'm getting from this song. How do you like fully live life? And I guess at the end, I'm like, I want to share more love. And this is all an attempt to do so. And if I can do that as my highest good, is I can do that from a place of like, it's also fun for me, then it will feel easy. That flow will feel easy. That exchange of like the effort I'm putting in will pay me back without it needing to be an objective dollar amount or nothing at all. So that's my personal way that I'm resonating with the song as I think about my journey. And I think of so many ways that this can apply for some of my clients who've really struggled with motivation or self-esteem issues, and that inner critic or the sense of failure or fear of failure holds them back. And I love the thought of like, if you didn't have that, what would you be doing? If that inner critic, if that volume was turned down quite a bit, like what might you try? And I'd love to know in the comments what comes up for you. What might you feel courageous enough to do if that wasn't there? Oh my gosh, okay, this whole section was so good though, so I have to back it up a little bit, and I want to hear this part again.
Accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding on to things I never should have kept, full of hatred. Years of my life carrying a lot of baggage that I should have walked away from. Years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in. They get it.
Okay, before we get into this part, which I'm super excited about, he's in this like old, like abandoned kind of haunted vibe, and I'm into it. I'm in full suspense. But some of those last lines that he just went through, I have to revisit because they were so powerful. And he's like, oh my gosh, I have to find the spot right here. Yeah, when he's like, I've said things I can't take back. Like he's going over his regrets. And I think a lot of people that like ruminating on the things that have happened in the past or the assumptions that they've made about, there's hair in my mouth. Sorry. Hope you all understand. That happens. That happens to everyone. So he's saying I've done things and said things that I can't take back. And so there's so often what I see as a clear pattern is the ruminating on the things that we can't do over again, and feeling a weight of shame or embarrassment about that often is almost like the playback reel, but of all of your, like, instead of highlights, it's like all the lowlights. And I think that living in that space is keeping you glued to this sense of feeling stuck, and breaking up with that pattern of not revisiting like every cringy moment in your day or in your life, or reliving that shame, I guess, every time, of the things that you didn't say right or do right. I would love if we could also infuse then, like, turning the volume down on that inner critic. What if we turn the volume up a bit on, I didn't have all the tools or all the information at that time. I'm really glad that that was an opportunity to learn and grow. And then the next thing that he says, the next line was about like, I made changes. Like, you don't have to live in that space. Like, every day you can make a different decision. A sign in my office is 365 days, 365 chances. And so, you know, oftentimes we talk about the addiction that we might have to a substance or a habit like gambling or sex, but we can have addictions to the unhealthy thought processes in our mind too. And breaking up with that addiction can be difficult. I think that you need to have a supportive environment, whether that's here, whether that's the encouragement that you feel and you hear here, but then even more so, more assistance in looking into like possible therapy if you feel as though these kind of inner critics and negative thoughts are keeping you held back and stopping you from really living the life that you want. I'm going back to this very exciting part. He just fell through the water into this cool room. I gotta know what happens.
Evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit my bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did.
Whoa. Yeah, having kids forces you to love something more than yourself. And I think that we're also in an age where a lot of people, it's the catalyst for them wanting to make more changes in their mental health, in their healing of generational trauma, so that they're not perpetuating and passing down those things down to their children. There's a different understanding of that. And I think that people are taking more responsibility. And obviously, like, songs like this show that. Like, a song about a man being, like, vulnerable about his inner demons and, like, how he chose to persevere through that and sending, like, a positive message and reflecting on his kids, all of that. I feel like this wouldn't have been seen, it would, you know, especially, like, 20 years ago. But like within my lifetime, that this is now more normalized, and we see this immediately as just inspirational. I love that. I mean, it is inspirational. I'm just saying, like, how it would have been received 20 years ago versus now. It's an interesting thing to reflect on, and I love that it's such a part of our culture. So many amazing little mental health nuggets in here. I feel like I'm missing some of them because I'm also trying to like stay with the lyrics and the song. So I want to see what happens next.
Wake up every day and pick my son up, hold him in my arms and let him know he's loved. Standing by the window questioning if that is ever going to show up. Isn't something he's gonna have to worry about, don't get it twisted, that was in a shot. Mama, I forgive you, I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hey, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of faith, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of hate, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never revolve, I know I can change. We are not enough, we are not the same. You don't have the heart, you don't have the strength, you don't have the will, you don't have the faith. You'll never be loved, you'll never be safe. Might as well give up, not running away. You don't have the guts, you're the one afraid. I'm the one in charge, I'm taking the reins.
Wow, that ending was so intense. Wow, that ending was so intense. Yeah, like that inner battle. I very much am reminded of High Ren, kind of in that like back and forth and kind of different characters that they're playing. Wow, I think that it's a huge lesson in our time here to understand what our real purpose is and to try to continue to align with that, because again, being human is hard and life is complicated. And I think that can really be our anchor. And I love that question. Like, what lights you up? Like, what makes you feel more you in a healthy way? Like, don't answer that question and tell me like heroin, okay? That's not the answer I'm looking for. Like, what makes you feel like the most connected, the most loving, the most compassionate and curious person? And spend some time swimming around with that. Because I think within, like when you find that feeling or you can identify where you've maybe even had like a whiff of it, you can begin this exploration of really discovering what it is that you're here for. And that's really the beauty of what this life offers. I think that's what this song is about, is like not letting those fears, not letting that inner critic, not letting the fact that there are regrets or that there have been things that have happened you wish you could have done differently, not letting that stop you from still each day being a new opportunity to create the narrative, to create the life that you want. You have that power in your hands. Obviously, there are things like, there are systemic things, there are societal things, and I understand that it's not as simple as, always just making the mental shift. But oftentimes, the mental shift to just even practicing what's within your control right now, it gives you the path towards figuring out where you can make a difference. And just having that mindset of knowing that you can have some kind of a tweak on the ease in your life, because that I truly feel is within your hands, no matter what your circumstances are. So much of it has to do with mindset. And this song is all about mindset, about shedding an unhealthy mindset and about what it takes to keep taking steps towards your goal and to keep feeling aligned with it. Those are my takeaways. And I think, again, because there were things that I missed because he is so fast, that I would love any feedback from you on any pieces that maybe resonated differently. Also, I love the setting that they were picking with the ocean, and also this falling through into this cool old mansion type of house. All of the visual elements and the interpretive elements of it with the duality of the characters, I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And even though I didn't really love the face makeup at the end because it was kind of scary and freaky, but that was the intent. I get that was the intent, but I'm so excited, honestly, because I know that NF has been recommended a lot. So I'm diving into the world of NF, and I have just really enjoyed hearing all of your recommendations. So please keep them coming. If there are music videos that have felt compelling to you, let us know down in the comments. And remember to share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Delightfully Dysfunctional. Our podcast comes out every Tuesday, and you can see reaction videos twice a week from Delightfully Dysfunctional, which is myself, Keilani, and James. Say hi, James.
Hi.
We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.